Hi guys, this is Chris of Wilson Live Sculpture, and this video is all about some new great news I've had the last several months. So I haven't posted too much in a while, but I have new work I'm going to share with this video, new tools, new honors, and I took a new adventure to France and learned a lot. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about what I do and about wood carving and sculpture. So I appreciate you following me on my channel. My real goal was to get to 1,000 followers. So thank you, first of all, for your support. I really appreciate it. I thought, wow, once I get to 1,000 followers, I will be, monetized, and I can, spend more time with the videos. I'll still work on spending more time in the videos. I've just been very busy creating some public art, traveling, finishing commissions, doing work for shows. Just been very busy. But I really appreciate your support. So thank you again for 1,000 followers. Actually, I think I'm up to 1,000, whatever, I don't know. So I do need the hours, though, to be monetized, because 1,000 followers does not mean you get monetized. I need a lot more viewing hours. So I hope you gain value through my videos. I have a lot of experience to share with you, over 4 years of experience, 30 working full-time as a wood carver, professional sculptor and wood carver. I was also a professor of art for 7 years. I've studied art through a number of sculptors, as well as apprenticeships, lessons, and I have an undergrad degree, as well as a master's degree in sculpture. So I have a lot of experience I can show and help you. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I've learned a lot. So I hope I can share tips. I've shared the best tools, power tools and hand tools. I'm going to get to that in this video. I'm going to show new work and techniques and how I've evolved over time, what I'm working on, how I create things. So there's a lot to learn here. So first I went to France with my fiancée Jenny. So that was a wonderful vacation to start the summer, just a couple weeks ago. I spent 10 days there. First I went to Paris, and we toured the museums for several days. Oh, it was wonderful. My favorite was the Louvre. As some of you guys know, what I'm known for on Instagram and my work is my emerging series. And so I have an emerging quail. Well, here's one here. I have a different one featured on my page. This is what I'm working on now, but it's emerging from a piece of wood and a la Michelangelo. So I was very, very inspired to see Michelangelo's Bound Slaves at the Louvre. You can watch that video. Actually, you can watch the video of my entire French adventure, which I share pictures and videos of the Louvre, as well as the Museum d'Orsay. Here's the Museum d'Orsay. Just some great, incredible pictures here. You might not be able to see this, but I saw a room of Van Goghs, Manet, all the great Impressionists from France, where Impressionism was invented. And some of my work is a little impressionistic, like this squirrel here. I'm not going for the full-out detail. I'm giving an impression of reality. So this was a 19th century art. That's when Impressionism was invented, right at the turn of the age of modern art. Speaking of which, I saw Manet's Luncheon on the Grass and Rodin's Walking Man. Those two sculptures redefined modern art. They were the start of the 20th century of modern art. So I saw one of my favorite sculptures, Rodin's Gates of Hell. And that's the famous sculpture where you have the thinker. Everyone's seen that before. But few know about the entire piece, The Gates of Hell, which was huge. So look at that video on my adventure there in France. I also did brought a little sketchbook with me. Of course, we saw the Eiffel Tower. It has Olympic rings on it, getting ready for the Olympics. So that's exciting to watch here at the end of July. And I did some sketches of just some sites. This was in Toulouse, after Paris, spending several days there. We took a high-speed train down to southern France in Toulouse, which is the 4th largest city in France. It's known as the Pink City. It's very, very charming, very historic. This was an old bridge over the Giron River, and it was built in the 12th century. So I drew that, and I drew this cathedral and castle here, and I'm not done with some of these sketches, but these are done from life. I've always learned in art school, it's good to draw from life and to really study and to practice. So having not created art for 10 days, well, I did something. I took photographs and I did sketches. And this final sketch is from a 15th century castle. And this was an Airbnb, which we stayed in one night in Toulouse. Again, I'm going to probably go back with some color over these sketches. They're just in black and white and pen. This one I didn't even draw first. I just kind of did it very spontaneous. So it's good to keep a sketchbook. You get good ideas wherever you travel and you get inspired. I was even drawing in the museum, and you can do that. My fiance got a little tired because it took hours to see, especially the Louvre. And that was incredible, seeing all the masters. Leonardo's work, we saw the Mona Lisa, but from a distance. I was not that interested because that was very, very hard to get to. Again, this was in June, so Paris was super busy, and of course the museums were too. However, we were able to get by some of the famous pieces. We still saw famous pieces, and we actually had a tour guide that took us some back routes, so we didn't have to be in such long lines. So I recommend tour guides. We took a walking tour. We saw where Picasso lived and worked, as well as many other famous artists. Van Gogh lived in Paris. A lot of American artists you'll find studied in Paris. So yay, I studied in Paris. I studied in France for 10 days. Never been there before. I did study abroad in Scotland in grad school. I learned a lot there, but that was a very inspiring trip. So watch that video. But to back up, I had more big news. It's the last several months. You may notice on my channel, I was showing examples of the big giant egg with a hatching duck, as well as a monument of Native Americans 8 feet tall. Both those sculptures I won to install those in public spaces. Okay, the Waxhaw Spirit is carved in red cedar. It's 8 feet tall, and that will be in Waxhaw, North Carolina for the next year. That's a public monument that they pay me for, and it's only there for a year. And the other piece in downtown Charlotte is already up and gone. But it was a fun piece. I show how I made this large egg on a fiberglass and a hatching duck coming out of it. And my fiance and I actually won the commission because it's about our story. And it's called the Good Luck Duck. Okay. So there was part of the Easter eggs on parade in Charlotte. So watch those videos too. Unfortunately, you can't see that piece anymore. It was just a festival called Shout. But you can watch the videos. I show all my techniques of how to make things, and I try to really be transparent, and I want my audience to learn. I also offer lessons, and about the bobwhite quail, I will share at the end some details of all this work, but I have a full video of how I carve, how I texture, and how I paint. And that's, what is that, over 5 hours of instruction. Now you buy those individually on my website at Wilson Wildlife Sculpture. You can watch free trailers both on YouTube and my website, and I take you through every stage of how I work. Of course, I also give lots of tips on my Instagram and YouTube channel every Tuesday, and Tip Tuesday on Instagram. That's at Wilson Wildlife Sculpture. And at wilsonwildlifesculpture.com, my website, you can subscribe to that, to my newsletter. You can also read my blogs on my website about my new adventures, as well as about my public art, and also the quail and how you can learn from me. So let me show you some other things. Backing up in April, I did a show in Charlotte called the Charlotte Woodcarvers Showcase of Wood Carvings. And that was the 41st annual show. And I was honored to win runner-up best of show. In fact, I won so many different awards at that show. It was a very, very great honor. It's the largest show in the Southeast United States, one of the largest wood carving shows in the country, that is. So I won the Lee Dukes Showcase of Wood Carvings theme. And this was with a different quail piece. I had a covey rise of 5 bobwhite quail. Coveys when the birds explode and go up to evade predators. So I had 5 flying quail, and that was very suitable to this theme because the theme was birds that flock together. Let's see, something like, now I forget the theme. Birds that stay together, birds that flock together stay together. I think something was like that. It was birds of, didn't have to be birds, but the theme was multiple subjects. Okay, so flocking together. And so a covey of quail and how they are together, that was perfect for the theme. But I won all these awards. I won Best of Open runner-up. And you can see the Best of Show. David Boone did an awesome Native American Indian. That was very good. I have a full hour, actually an hour-long video showing the entire show, from novice to intermediate to open, and to some of the vendors. There are also other YouTubers that who were at the show who competed and have their own videos of the show. And from young ones to old ones and all different ages. That's the great thing about wood carving. People are very sharing of their knowledge, and you can learn so much going to a show. So that was a real joy. So here was the Best of Show Open Runner-Up Award I got. And you can watch videos of just the highlights if you want, of just the awards, or you can see the whole video. In fact, it's one of my most popular videos right now with several thousand views. So I appreciate your support. And you can learn a lot. There's a lot of great wood carvings there. And, you know, judging wood carving is very subjective. And I was honored this year. I didn't win Best Birds. Again, it's very subjective. In fact, one of the judges thought my nest was natural, and so that he countered against that. But he actually introduced himself to me during the show after the judging, and he told me that, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I've judged many shows myself, and I said, well, it actually did make it, and I made it out of metal, wood, and paper, stiffened paper with glues. So I fooled the judge. I didn't win Best Birds, but I won a lot of first places, as well as Best in Miniatures, which was a big competition, Best Theme, which was the biggest category of the entire show, and Best of Show Overall runner-up next to David Boone. So he was a phenomenal carver. So check his work out too, check those videos. Some other news I have. I'm always testing new tools, and thanks to FlexCut Tools, I got these new hand pieces. I like their interchangeable blade sets, so we can get these interchangeable blades like this, and these are great because they cost less than the fixed type, and they stay super sharp. Again, this is from FlexCut Tools, and they're in Pennsylvania. These are ash handles, which are great. You can also get a cushion grip, but I like the real wood grip. This is one of my favorite tools, a V-tool, and I'll go in and carve a lot of this detail with hand tools as well as power tools. And you can watch videos of me power carving, maybe a little bit of hand tool carving. I did both on these squirrels. These are both new, very interpretive, kind of impressionistic styles, which, you know, I actually did them before I went to France, but I guess I was inspired by the Impressionists beforehand. I'm also working on owls, which you can work on. You can watch my videos online, and I showed how how I use different tools in carving this, and mainly power tools. That's how I rough out Tupelo wood. I like basswood and walnut more for hand tools, but I carve with both. Getting back to tools, I'll show you some more work here in a minute. I want to test some different flex cut tools. I got this lino and relief printmaking set. It's basically just hand tools, but they're razor sharp, and I love the quick interchange like I was talking about with these power handles. And so I've never done printmaking. Actually, I did printmaking when I went to a school for the arts in elementary school and middle school in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I did learn a long time ago, but I did not make my own lino prints like they're showing here. So maybe that'll be a new video. I look forward to trying it. I'm always trying new art, always trying to push myself and do something new, whether it's sculpture, wood carving, painting, drawing. I think it's a challenge as an artist to grow. So I'm excited about, very excited about this set. This is the Mallet Sculptor set by Flex Cut Tools. And this is heavy duty. Okay, if you don't like power tool carving, because there is dust, and I do carve outside with power tools. I don't like the dust. I have a dust collector inside for fine work, but for angle grinders and all my tools, the Mampa tools, the King Arthur tools, I will do the bulk of that carving outside, wearing mask and have a fan to blow it away. But I love hand tool carving, and I'm switching to that because it reached 100 degrees here just a couple weeks ago. And that was a big wake-up call from coming back from France. But this is an example of a flex cut sculptor's gouge. Now this is with using a mallet, okay? And these tools here are more for pushing, although you could use a mallet on the small ones. But I'm really excited to try this set. I've got 4 different gouges of different sweeps. Okay, that's how curved it is. And I love Flex Cut because they always send you Band-Aids that come with the sets. So one more thing about tools. I got this also. I've got this new paddle strop. It's very important to keep your tools sharp. And this is really cool because it's got rough leather on this side and smooth leather on this side. And it comes with rouge. And what you do is you will just run the blade flat to hone the blade. Okay, I like to strop the blade against the leather versus honing on diamonds or stones, because I like a really polished blade, and it carves much faster if you just hone it every 15 minutes. So I have another video actually on this, and that's honing. So just want to give you a shout out to Flex Cut Tools. They make great ones. And I also have videos on how to use these tools and my favorite tools as well on my channel, as well as reviews on the power tools and different hand tool. Not just Flex Cut. There's lots of different other makes of tools that I've used. Okay, last but not least, I'm working on some hummingbirds. I'll show you some close-ups if you stay to the end. These are carved in Tupelo wood, like my owl. And the reason I like Tupelo wood is because it sands easy, it carves very well with power tools, and I can get the birds to fly like this. So notice I have a metal pin going through the head for support, and I'm building this bill up with epoxy. Okay, that way it's going to be feeding on flower. I'll cut it off when I know the length. And actually it's going to be numerous flowers. I planted foxglove for the first time in my garden, and I had it bloom. And so I have a series, this took a lot of time. I have a series of flowers, a lot more than this, depicting foxglove. And so you may notice some previous videos, I showed foxglove flurry, and that's where the hummingbird is feeding from the foxglove. Matter of fact, I just saw the hummingbird this morning, but my foxglove is no longer in bloom, so I've had to look at pictures. I'm carving it very, very thin. In fact, I went through it just a little bit here, And I like to hold this wood up to the light so I can see how thin I'm carving. And if I see through, actually I didn't go through, but I can see the light on the other side, and that means it's too thin there. I don't like my wood to get that thin because then it's very prone to breaking. However, it is very realistic. I have a carving video on my website, how to carve magnolia flowers, a lot bigger than these foxglove flowers, and I'd recommend that trying to do a magnolia flower to start because they're big, doing the leaves. It's a lot of work though. There's a lot of challenging steps to it in the carving, sanding, and painting, and also you have to fabricate the metal, and that's what I have with the squirrel compositions. I have fabricated branches with leaves, and that's the trademark of my work. Besides wood carving, I incorporate metal work, and I have a lot more negative space and activated movement and implied movement with my work. So those are a couple things I'm working on, hummingbirds and owls. Let's get to the squirrels and some close-ups here. I appreciate you following me, but I really, I love YouTube. You can learn so much, and it's great. Just be careful who you're learning from. Everyone has different styles and levels of experience. I really try to strive the difference in my work and showing a lot of elements and principles of art through the composition. That's the arrangements of the elements of line, texture, space, color, and then pairing that with principles of repetition, rhythm, movement, things that I've learned in art school to make better compositions through my work. So these are I'm happy with the way these squirrels came out. I had a request for a squirrel, and I'm more of a bird person, but I have squirrels right in my backyard. And the black walnut one, my favorite wood. I love the black walnut. I actually stain the base for contrast. This is not black walnut, but I have a walnut stain on here in this one. And in this piece is it's kind of funny. So I was inspired by a squirrel that lives in my street. These are eastern gray squirrels we have here. But he was very, very red. And I was thinking, well, let me try to put some color in a squirrel. So I started with whites, and then I have blues and yellows and greens and reds and oranges. There's every color of the rainbow in the squirrel. So I'll show you highlights of that. Plus I had a lot of fun in this base. This is a squirrel-proof bird feeder, okay? And so obviously he's not squirrel-proof for this guy. But I carved some decorative designs, which I'll show here in a second. And it was also a lot of fun to make, kind of whimsical. And that's the point of this art, is to make it fun, tell stories with your work. I try to capture a moment frozen in time, and then I try to tell a story like the squirrel I saw. Of course they get in the bird feeders. The ones I see every day in my yard, because I live underneath big oak trees, literally with thousands of acorns. So I get lots of chipmunks, lots of squirrels, tons of birds. I love it, and that's why I do wildlife sculpture, because primarily I do other things, but I'm inspired by wildlife and nature. Nothing more so inspirational. And yes, in France, I did go bird watching. I saw 4 new birds I've never seen before, and it was wonderful. I brought little binoculars with me, but I wasn't out allowed in all these different areas, and you have to be careful because I'm not fluent in French. So that was a whole nother adventure. I love traveling. My fiance has kind of encouraged me with that, so I haven't done it in a while, but I'm inspired now to do it more. But let me know what you're inspired by and what you like more to see me to create more videos of. I appreciate you following me, actually subscribing on Instagram. So now I just need another 2,000 hours of watch time, and then I'll be monetized at some point. But my videos are getting better. I have been able to pair photographs into a reel, as well as create multiple videos in one reel. And I spent a lot of time on that. In fact, it took me 2 years to create the video of carving the most realistic bobwhite quail on wood, and then texturing the softest feathers, and then painting very, very realistic realistic soft sheen. Okay, this one's not done. I will paint with acrylics and then oils. And I have lots of different tips on how all the different techniques I've learned over the years. I studied with some of the best artists like Larry Barth, who just won the World Championships at the Ward Foundation. I studied with him when I was in art school, actually, at a seminar in Ocean City, Maryland for a week. I studied with many other great talented bird carvers, as well as sculptors, both internationally as well as here, like Carl McCluskey. And so it's been a real joy mixing carving and sculpture. And you can learn from me on my website. I also offer private lessons, not just the videos that go on my website, but private lessons like through Zoom calls. And I've done that for students, and I can really improve your work, especially if you can stay with me, maybe create a bird and do a series. I can give you lots of tips, and actually, if you do purchase the first couple of videos, the carving video and the texturing video, both of those come with a free lesson, private lesson. Okay, that's pretty good for because I want to make my my students learn as much as they can. And the final video, the painting video, comes with a bonus of an oil painting, how I top coat my birds with oils. I used to just paint with oils, but I learned acrylics were much more versatile, faster. They were also faster, and that's important because I carve full-time sculptor and artist. So that's a nice bonus. And also, you can, if you feel confident in your acrylic painting, but you want to learn oil painting, you can also purchase the oil painting video separate. And that's all available on my website. So again, thanks a lot for subscribing. Stay tuned. I'll show you some close-ups of all this work. And yeah, here's the squirrel. And I'll turn this so you can see it in different directions and try to get you closer here. Try to bounce some light here. Again, I'm trying to make the squirrel in the foreground here a little bit lighter. Okay, now finally a few close-ups. Here's the guy with all the color. He has a seed in his mouth. And here I did a real arbitrary colors as well as in the base with carved seeds and texture. And both of them have branches I made out of metal with acorns. And here's the squirrel, the black walnut with the stained base. And here it is from distance again. Have a great day.